Hello, everybody. Hey, how are you doing? Welcome back to Old Style Classics Baseball Cards. It is now about 1 a.m., July 21st, 2024, and got our super duper special uh, episode of Old Style Classics Baseball Cards today. Definitely some very Old Style Classics baseball cards. A very oddball set that probably a lot of you don't know anything about. And we'll get to that here in a minute. Gotta take care of a little business here, folks. So, couple shout outs. New subscriber, 3D hologram projector 360. About an hour ago, right when I did that last video, had just subscribed. So thank you. And just your average geeks posted a video. The Vicarious Pot recommented on my comment to them. Cool tool. 10,000 days. That's what his channel's referring to. I'm guessing. And then Cardboard Nerd. Hey, Cardboard Nerd, how you doing? Haven't heard from you in a while. Old Cardboard Nerd. He commented on my last video, which sending a congratulations out from Cardboard Nerd. And I'm also sending shout out and a congratulations right here to at ASR Roy, who won my first contest and was immediately the one to figure out the code and the riddle that I was trying to get people to solve and leave comments in my video for that code breaker video about a week ago, and they got it right immediately, but nobody else tried. So well, go ahead and check out the last video if you want to see what they won, what the riddle was, and what the answer was, and all that. Thanks for all the new subscribers. We're up to 148 right now, so that's pretty good. It says I got 34 in the last 28 days, so that's really good. So congratulations once again to Roy, and I think his name is Matthew as well. Like, it says ASR Roy, but I think it's Matthew. But congratulations to you. You won my contest, and I appreciate you participating. Alright, so today we have a super duper special episode of Old Style Classics Baseball Cards that I can tell you a story about these cards. They're very old style cards. They're cards that most of you guys, I'm assuming, aren't going to know very much about. And there's a lot of people that probably don't really take them serious, or they consider them mostly regional, which the regional part I will agree with. These cards came out in 2005, so even a year before Allen and Ginter from Topps came out doing old-fashioned tobacco size cards. So this is an oddball set of tobacco cards that they did. They did a whole big series of these things, I think, for a few years. And then they kind of got away from that and started doing more art cards. Now, I believe PSA was grading for a while there, but because of the way that they do their cards, PSA stopped grading because these cards are intentionally distressed. They do it because the guy who does this stuff or started this liked, just like me, old-fashioned kind of pre-war dead ball era baseball cards, and he really liked the fact that you can get a card beat up like these Obaks that I showed. You know, he liked this used kind of look, you know, because these things have been sitting around for 100 years, you know. So there's like a Major League Baseball, T205 from Hassan. These are Obaks for the PCL by the same company because they had a monopoly on cigarettes. And then, like this one here is a T207, just beautiful with these backgrounds. So these are the kind of things I always liked. And so when Allen & Ginter came out in 2006, I really got into it because I love the tobacco minis. And so I'm a huge fan of Allen & Ginter cards, and especially the minis. So there's a rookie design variant of Matt Verling, and that is a representation of the original 1887 Allen & Ginter tobacco cards that came out from like Allen & Ginter, which was way before this stuff. So those are, Allen & Ginter's 1887, and I always was fascinated with these tobacco minis. So, but since these other cards that I'm about to show you are regional, I didn't know about them until after I moved here, and probably like 4 or 5 years after I moved here. I never even seen them, but I used to dig around the bargain box at the card shop there in Sunnyvale, and one day I guess they had stuff in there. They would randomly bring stuff out of their warehouses and add stuff that they had picked up along the way into the little bargain bins that you would dig through and buy these cards. And that's when I came across these cards. But before I was doing that, I would go to the store and buy any of the old Allen & Ginter blasters they had. I even got 2006s back then. Now I moved here in 2011, let's just say. And so Allen & Ginter, getting that old of stuff is pretty hard. You can't find 2006 Allen & Ginter anymore. And you're going to pay $800 plus for a blaster, over $1,000 to $3,000 for a hobby box if you can find one. So I picked up all the like blasters and stuff because that's what I was into, was the Allen & Ginter. And then when that ran out, I started buying Obaks back then. So this like Mike Trout here. Now this is from National Convention, but you could get this card, his prospect card from Obak, which is TriStar. What is that? I believe 2010. So I really got into these because I liked the same thing, old style classic cards, because I always wanted to get one of these original Obak cards, and but they're really hard to find. So anyways, when I'm digging around that store, because I didn't have a whole lot of money at that time, I ran across these things in the bargain bin. And these are Helmar Brewing Company. So this is, I believe, in Michigan. It's a little scratch and win trading cards. And they are based on the old-fashioned cards, like I'm showing you here. They're like very T206 and T205 and all that kind of tobacco era stuff. Now, this brewing company, I believe here, based in Michigan. So let's see if we could take a look at this, and I'll get on with my story. So as you can see right there, that's got Babe Ruth up on the front, I believe. So this is a little scratch off game. Yeah, that's from Pleasant Ridge, Michigan. And then it was visit helmarbrewing.com. So anyways, because they did beer and stuff like that, they were doing like beer like at their brewery or whatever, and they would have like the caps with like old-fashioned baseball designs and stuff, and he liked like maybe their tap room or whatever, or their bar liked having the old-fashioned baseball stuff like on the walls and stuff, and started doing stuff like bottle caps and all that, I believe. And then one of the things that they did was they sold like caramel corn and snacks, like potato chips, along with their beer and stuff. But I think they distributed these like packs of caramel corn and popcorn and chips and stuff, maybe to like liquor stores and stuff like that in the Michigan area. And then these would be, as you can see, it's really greasy. These would come in one of those packs, one of those snacks. And so they did this first set, which I don't have the complete set. I bought every single one of these I could. I bought a few, I opened them, I loved them, and I went back, I cleaned them out. I even drove to the one that's like 25 miles up the road, the one in San Jose. Any and every one of these I bought that I can find. I dug through all those boxes, and then I asked them about them. They didn't have any more. Now you could still get this stuff like on eBay, maybe Amazon and stuff like that. As you can see, I only paid like $1 for these, and I believe it's 3 cards per pack. A couple things, back in the day when I was doing videos and like had another channel, I did a quick opening of one of these packs on video, and then I lost the channel. But I still had the video on one of my old phones, so I was able to recover a video of me opening one of these on my old phone, plus some Allen and Ginters from back in 2013, and I posted those, and those are like the first videos that I have on Old Style Classics baseball cards. So you can go back and see me opening one of these packs, and they're just epic. Now, but the thing is, the guy, to be different, they're super thick stock, and they would like literally distress the cards because he liked that distressed look. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, I believe this little stack that I have here is the different ones, and then I have a box of duplicates as well. So these 2 first cards I brought from home. Oh, and anyways, what they do now is once they stop doing this particular set, they kind of changed over because I guess it was so successful that they were making, they were doing better making cards. So they went into like the art card world, and so they started making art cards of like these old players from the dead ball era and stuff like that. And not just cards, like different style cards, like leather, like they would have these leather things with baseball stuff on it, signs, like I said, bottle caps, just all kinds of different things that they would do like a limited run of like 15 Ty Cobb cards or 15 or 10 leather Ty Cobb things. And then what they would do is they had their own like eBay, well, I guess on their website they were doing it, but then they shifted over to eBay, and they would auction this stuff off. So like every week they would have like an auction, and I believe they still do, and people would go on there and be like, okay, they show you on the website, this is the series, this is who they did this time, like let's say Mordecai Three Finger Brown. They would do a very limited number of his cards, like maybe 3, maybe 10, and they would go up for auction, and people would buy them. Now, if you go there and look now, some of this stuff, I mean, just first-hand auction, just get it from them. I mean, you're looking at like $100, $300, and stuff like per card and stuff like that, or just some astronomical numbers that people are bidding for this stuff. And but yet some people don't take them serious, like, oh, that's not a real card company, blah blah blah, they're just art cards. So it's up to you, but they're just beautiful things. So this one I have over there at work, And so just to show you, so there's the little Cracker Jack cards. So like modern Cracker Jack size cards. There's what an Allen and Ginter size card would be, a modern card, like the Danica Patrick's here. So there's your modern size card, and then of course your tobacco size cards. And we all know the tobacco size cards all have a little bit different sizes. So for example, like the Allen and Ginter. So they're a little bit bigger than Allen and Ginter from Topps. But they're still a tobacco size card, and I loved it. And I just ate this stuff up. So it's thrower here, Johnny Evers from Chicago Cubbies. So just to go with that, I guess I should have pulled my Cubs card out. Thought I did. Oh yeah, here we go. So these are players, you know. So like this guy played with him, and I believe I don't know if Evers or Chance was the coach or manager, but you know. But they're super thick stock, folks. Super thick stock, as opposed to like in modern Allen and Ginter. But nevertheless, so there's a couple Cubbies that were teammates. So this is the American Tobacco Company. This is Helmar Brewing. Now, of course, Helmar, there used to be a Helmar like tobacco back in the day. So they have like Helmar stamps and stuff from back then, which I believe Helmar Brewing. So don't get them mixed up. It's not the same Helmar as from way back then. Just the same way Allen and Ginter from Topps is not the same as Allen and Ginter from 1887. These are just a renewing of that old brand. So this is Helmar doing the same thing, just like Upper Deck did Goodwin Champions. That was a reimagination of Goodwin Champions, just like Topps did with Gypsy Queen and Turkey Red and Topps 206 and Topps 205. And so it's not, you know, like, it's not like the major companies didn't do this stuff as well. And these came out a year before Allen and Ginter. And just beautiful artwork on these cards. And as you can see some of the distressed here. You know, some of them are going to be a lot more obvious than others. Now they all have this same back, and that's where you can see that's not from me. That's the way they made these cards, because they wanted it to look old-fashioned, but they're not trying to pretend that they're old cards, because you can see right there, copyright 2005. Let me get my expensive pointer here out. Copyright 2005 Helmar Brewing, from Michigan there. And it even has the estate of Johnny Evers. So it's not like it's just some dude doing it in his basement without any licensing or anything like that. It's not like bootleg, like that Cracker Jack card of Caitlin Clark I just got. Now you're supposed to scratch this off. You know, it's that scratch off stuff, and you would get a discount or something to purchase one of their products. And then the centering issues, I believe that is done intentional as well. They don't want these cards to be gradable and like tins and stuff like that. I think one of the stories I read was that he's opposed to that kind of stuff, that thought it was silly that you would send your cards in to get graded and get a high score. Sorry about my voice, folks. Take a drink there. So all the backs are going to be like this, and I've never scratched one of them off, so I'm not going to be doing that. But there you go, Johnny Evers, super thick card stock, just beautiful cards. Now this one I put up at work because if you watch my other videos, I've talked about how I like foreign brands, or like foreign I like baseball. So, like, if I can get baseball from Australia or Taiwan or any of these places, I would definitely be all about it. That's why I had my wife's coworker, when he went to Japan, pick me up some Japanese oddball cards, which will be one of the next episodes I show. So once again, same back. And I believe they were grading these cards originally, but then PSA was like, "Oh, we don't know what to do with this because they do this on purpose." They just said they're not going to grade them anymore. But this one is one of the great things about what they did in these Helmar Brewing cards was to do stuff from like Japan as well. So the God of Batting, 313 lifetime, 3 MVP, 5 batting titles. Kawakami from Tokyo, so I believe that's the Giants. And it's just beautiful. I just love that design. See what it says up here. Yeah, so it's got some Japanese writing up in here. So that might be from some poster or some card from Japan and back in the day. And just epic. I think they're just awesome cards. They're just beautiful. They were super cheap, and I didn't have a lot of money at the time. And this is exactly the kind of stuff I like to collect, because back then I couldn't afford this. I probably could have if I didn't buy a few blasters, but I wanted the blasters. So my trade-off was, well, I wanted to open Allen Ginter or TriStar. So instead of saving up to buy one of these, I was more on the chase for my Danica Patrick autograph, and I just loved Allen Ginter, so I wanted to open that stuff. So it's not like completely true that I couldn't afford this stuff. But see, this is what that guy liked. He liked a card that looked like this. So just like Allen Ginter, I can kind of get my tobacco mini fix and still get to open modern stuff. And in this sense, I get my old-fashioned fix and get a beautiful card. Just blown away by this set. I just absolutely love it. Sounds like fireworks are going off outside there, but it's 1:30 in the morning. Now here's another thing they also did, was the House of David. So, oh wait a minute, this was Benton Harbor, sorry. But they do have House of David we'll get to. So this is Inventors of the Pepper Game, Barnstorming Team, Benton Harbor, Michigan. So, my mistake. I just love those backgrounds. It's very OBAC-ish. Or, yeah, just wonderful. They're showing you where that pepper game came in the era of barnstorming. And once again, same old thing on the back here. Alright, next we have Kiki Coiler. There you go, Pittsburgh. So for like Mangini and all you Pittsburgh Pirates fans, so they didn't put the logo on this one. But that's just beautiful. And I know that they've starting to get a few players in the vintage era, like maybe Maris and like Mantles and stuff like that. But oh my God, if they ever did an Andre Dawson card, that's the one I would bid for. And do an Andre Dawson looking like one of these old-fashioned cards, like dress him in like one of these designs. And then there are YouTube videos where you can go on there and or on their website, you can go on there and watch how the artist, renders the design of the cards that they're still doing to this day. But they don't do packs anymore. It's just the auctions, or you can get them secondhand off of eBay from people who bought them. So some of them are in better shape than others as far as the amount of distress they did. And their website, they do have like kind of a checklist and showing you who you can get in that series. And I think this series might have ran for 2 years and like 120 cards or 220 or something like that. But this is from the first year. Uh, but it like 2005, 2006 would be like their series one, and then they switched and started doing something different. So there we go, Eddie Deal of Benton Harbor. So obviously catcher there, old fashioned, and a little more distressed edges there. All right. Then you have Walter Ball, Chicago Negro League. So that's another thing. They have some wonderful Negro League cards in here. And it's not 100% baseball either. It is also just kind of like an Allen Ginter or something from the past, where they do have other sports in these as well. All right. So look at there, Mo Berg, Tour of Japan. Was he one of the spies? So this is probably pre-war, not the card, but Mo Berg. And just beautiful, the stadium behind them, the stands there. Just wonderful cards, people. Look at how deep and rich that purple is. I hope that's fireworks, not people shooting out there. All right, next here we got Dennis Biddle, Chicago Negro League. So the American Giants for Chicago. Look at that with the green. So I think you can get jerseys like that at Lids now, or Fanatics. It's got the little thing in the background, very much like some of these OBAC cards did. You know, I did show the one OBAC card. Yeah, here you go. So you see that one's got the little building in the background. This has got a silhouette of a building, but just very reminiscent of that. Just keep that on hand. So if I want to show you guys that again, Helmar Brewing, you could still buy these. I think they're selling them for like $9 a pack on eBay or Amazon. All right, next. So this is another Negro Leaguer, Cobbin, Indianapolis Negro League. So look at the old glove. So it's also cool they went ahead and did the Negro League stuff, and now Topps is just starting to get into that. Basically 20 years a little late, other than the random few they had here and there. So just epic, people. All right. Here we go, as a portrait. Here we go, they do the portrait ones too. Elmer Flick for Cleveland. So I don't know if that's a spider or not, but what you guys would consider official, and maybe less, but still just cool. They just scream that old era. All right, here we go. Now we're going to get a House of David. So if you're interested, you can look up what House of David is. I believe they do talk about, oh no, another Benton Harbor, unless Benton Harbor is House of David. But you can look these up on Wikipedia, like the story about Benton Harbor, and whether that is House of David. It could be. Because they all had that long hair. It was like a religious team that barnstormed around, and they were like really good. Like, who would ever known they would get a card? And here they are getting a card. It's much like the Obac from TriStar did the like the Joe Bauman card, who was the guy who had 72 home runs in the 50s, that never had a card. But TriStar gave him a card because he's a deserved one. That he never had a card before because he was playing in the West Texas, New Mexico League in the minors back in the 50s. So of course these tobaccos weren't even doing those back then. But card companies weren't really doing minor leagues outside the West Coast. So that's a cool one. Alright, here we got Gandol for Chicago. See, there you go. Expelled in scandal. So that's one of the Black Sox. So they can do this stuff. So Chick Gandol. Just wonderful stuff. I just love these cards. There we go. We got some more Japanese. Godo. Kunichi Dragons. So showing you what old school baseball in Japan looked like. And that's just right up my alley. I love that. That's just cool. Where are you going to find that? Who's going to put that guy on a card now? Alan Ginter? Not likely. Like a side gag. So that's the cool thing too. Like, what's going on with his sock here? Was he like one-legged? What's the deal? Well, when you come across cards like this, or this guy, and it's not telling you what it is, like their story, that makes you want to go out and research this. Go on to Google, go do a search, find out about this guy. What was his significance? Why is he on a card? Why is this guy important enough to make a card? That'll get you guys to go and look into that stuff. So Hamilton, Indianapolis Negro League. So A. Hamilton, that's going to give him a little limelight. You can go out there and find out about Hamilton here. All right, then you got Harrison for Benton Harbor. So yeah, that is definitely House of David. Yeah, just a religious, like, church group. They didn't cut their hair for religious reasons, and something like more like Quakers or Puritans or something like that. And but they were a great baseball team. So you should go look them up. All right, move these cards out of the way. There you go. Look at this. 69 home runs in 1933. Joe Hauser for Minneapolis. So once again, another minor leaguer who probably none of you guys know about unless you're from Minneapolis or Minnesota there. Like maybe Commenting Collector Rob, maybe he knows this, or Stoogs, or some of you guys up there. That's like Minnesota's version of the Bauman I was just talking about. So these people who did some just spectacular things in baseball deserve some time in the limelight, a little credit for something they achieved. Then people try to look down on the minor leagues back then as if it were like semi-pro or single A baseball. It's not. It was like the major leagues out west. These teams were, for the size of their cities, just as big as the Cubs were in Chicago. There's books and stories and all kinds of stuff about how big it was, because baseball was the national game. And it's not just America's national game, it's Japan's. And lo and behold, here we go. No, there's a Negro League, Pete Hill. Now, I've heard of Pete Hill before I've seen this card, but Detroit Negro League. Do you think that's, well, he's probably in his road uniform, but could that have been Tiger Stadium? Who knows? Maybe they only could afford one uniform. So that is epic, people. Sorry, this video is going to be a little long because this set is just spectacular. Alright. There you go, folks. If anything doesn't want to get you to have one of these cards, how about a Shoeless Joe Jackson? as a Clevelander there, Joe Jackson. So the third Ty Cobb, Ty Cobb, Hannes Wagner, Joe Jackson. All right, now here's going to be a couple sweet ones, people, and it's going to give you a little something different to enjoy. That's what I was talking about when I went to that last San Jose Silicon Valley card show. The one guy had all kinds of old boxing cards and tobacco boxing cards, and like graded, slabbed up, and they were just beautiful because it reminded me of like this. This is just wonderful. Look at that. And it's got the Helmar Brewing bottle. Like I said, they had special labeling and stuff like that. So that's a Genetti and North Bergen. So pre-prohibition style, which is the bare caramel malt flavor. And so look at that, bare knuckle boxer. It's probably 1800s there, folks. Bare knuckle boxer like author Louis L'Amour. These guys will go for like 100 rounds. And then you have here Demetrius Jenkins, Detroit, another boxer with his title belt there. I don't know what title that is, but just cool. Pugilists. I mean, that's just a beautiful card. I mean, this guy got himself a card. Just wonderful. Alright, this one's just epically miscut. And I don't know if this one was intentional or not, but still, D. Jones, it's still square. It's just cut, that's the optical illusion. It's still square, It's not, oh, it is off. So they even got, so yeah, that's shortcut, I guess. That would be, does not meet minimum size requirements. But still, D. Jones, Detroit, Tiger. Alright, once again, here we go. I'm going to get a little portrait action again. Cecil Kaiser, Detroit Stars, the Negro League. So Cecil Kaiser, you want to look him up? See what his story is. This one's a really cool one, folks. This is Kawakami again, Chiba, Akta, and Noguchi for Tokyo Giants. And look at that, folks. Isn't that just cool? I just dig like foreign baseball. Just other leagues, old-fashioned minor leagues. I dig that they're playing baseball now in Australia. They have their own pro league. Of course, it's not up to the level of like Japan, Korea, or Taiwan, but they're giving it a run, and it's just cool. You can see some of their games on like YouTube. So I just like to support baseball. Just like I went down to Mexico, went to 2 games down there in Puerto Penasco, Rocky Point. Here we go, some boxing. Darnell Knox, Detroit, Big League Brew. So Helmar. So that's cool. And there we go. Another Japanese. Tokuji Lita, Nankai Hawks. With their old school uniforms there. Super cool. Ross Young, New York. Washington, Birmingham, another Negro League. So I like this set because they spread the love around. Hugh McAleer, St. Louis, looks like the Browns there. How often do you see Browns cards, folks? Another pugilist. Sam McVeigh. Another bare knuckle boxer looking like. Probably could have got this kind of stuff right out of Goodwin Champion Gypsy Queen back in the 1880s or 90s. Another boxer, Battling Nelson. And he's from Chicago, so guy from my neck of the woods. Battling Nelson. Wonder if that's where the full Nelson came from. Alright, folks. Still got some to go. Wow. I should have done a double part. Pinnock, New York. Happy face. That's a cool one. Eparixi of Cincinnati. Jack Sharkey. Jack Sharkey, Boston. Hey people, don't forget, put my video up to 1.25 or 1.5, talking to monotone for you. I don't know why I'm losing my voice, but that's just cool. Check him out in his wife beater. Neat stuff. Alright, here we go. Turkey Steams. Turkey Stearns. Detroit Negro Leagues. Wonderful. Jesse Lee Talley, Benton Harbor, the bearded Babe Ruth. So you want to find out why he's called the bearded Babe Ruth? I mean, it's probably you could probably take a pretty good guess at why that is. Probably their power hitter on this team. Another John Tucker, Benton Harbor. Looks like pitcher. A different style on the uniform there. Raising money for the cause. Percy Walker, Benton Harbor. All got the facial hair and stuff as well. Alright, this one's a beautiful card. This reminds me of some of those really cool OBAC uniform designs. This is Walker from Toledo. Now, isn't this the guy who was the first, like officially really the first guy, African American in Major League Baseball in the 1800s? And they tried to off him as Cuban, and then eventually it was run off the team, but I believe that's who this is, because I believe Toledo was one of the original National League teams, 1876 on, but if I'm wrong, could look up Walker. Alright, then I have another one of these. So, oh no, Buck Weaver. Here we go, Buck Weaver. So, one of the Whites, Black Sox. It's got the little Helmar sign behind him there. Alright, people, we're already at 45 minutes. And I have one of these boxes. And these are the extras, as you can see. So these are all duplicates of the cards that I just showed. And I didn't care if I got a million of each card. So I'm not going to show you these right now, because I'm pretty sure those are all just doubles of these other ones that I showed you. But just spectacular, beautiful, epic cards. Thanks for watching Old Style Classic Baseball Cards. Hope you enjoyed this super special oddball episode. And if you want to see me opening an original pack of these, go back to the beginning of my videos. about 10 months ago, and I have a super short video of me opening a pack. Thanks everybody for watching old style classics baseball cards. See ya.